Step 1 was to identify the first element and then name that element. The first element is the cation. The cation is the donor of electrons. Now, if the cation is a group 1 element, we are safe because we know that group 1 elements have oxidation numbers of +1. Sometimes group 2 elements have oxidation numbers of +2. Now, in the periodic table, when we say a group and then there's a number attached to the group, that means that number shows the number of electrons in the outermost shell of the elements in that group. So a group 1 element will have 1 electron in its outermost shell. A group 2 element will have 2 electrons. A group 7 element will have 7 electrons. Now, if we have such elements, group 1 elements or sometimes group 2 elements, their oxidation numbers are known. But if you have elements like the transition metals, their oxidation numbers are not known, and therefore we will need to calculate their oxidation numbers. Now, let's see the first one. The first one is iron 2. Why is it iron 2? Let's try and calculate the oxidation number of iron. We know chlorine is a group 7 element, so chlorine is equal to -1 times 2, since there are 2 elements or 2 atoms of chlorine, and the total oxidation state of chlorine over there will be -2 because each chlorine atom carries a charge of -1. Now, this is a neutral compound, therefore everything should be equal to 0. We do not know that of iron. Fe is equal to X. When we sum everything up, X plus -2 should give us 0. And then we're going to have X minus 2 is equal to 0. X is equal to 2. So now that we found the oxidation number of iron, we put the iron as Roman numerals, the oxidation state of iron as Roman numerals in brackets. That is why we have II after the iron, because the oxidation state or oxidation number of iron in FeCl2 is 2. The oxidation state of copper in copper oxide is 2. The oxidation state of copper over here is 1. So the next step is we are going to calculate the oxidation number of the element if it is an element that shows varying oxidation numbers. Now, after calculating, you put it in brackets after you name the first element.